Hey guys, it's yours truly. It is 11:32 p.m. on the 27th of February 2023, and this is Project Updates Galore. Yep, that's right, Project Updates Galore. And for good reason, because this video is going to show all the projects I've been working on over the last several months. I'm going to try to go in much detail as I can, but as you guys can see, I have a lot of stuff to cover here. And that this is not even, well, this would be technically half of it, but then there's still other things that I got coming down the pike. Um, so let's get started with the Ultra Duty cars here. So you guys that have followed me like over the years, you guys saw the Titan cars that I built, like the Titan flat cars, the Titan boxcar, which is based off of a Peace missile carrier boxcar that was built by the Defense Department, and the Titan tank cars, which there are two of them. So this is the first one that I actually made. This is the first Titan tank car. Um, Let me get out the. Where is it? This is actually the car that started it all. This is the car that started it all. This is the car that everyone here, like, this is the car that everyone wants to build. The Titan Gondola. This is the first Titan car I ever built. And it's still in one piece. And it's in great shape. I was going to repaint it into ER&W, but I said to myself, no, leave it as it is, because it's paying homage to the first of a series of cars that you built. And yeah, I'm going to leave it alone. I'm not going to paint it. I'm just going to leave it alone. So this car is actually made from several cars. So the ends come from IHC tie cars, like this one here, like the chassis, which are cast metal. And then the center car is a Atherin Blue Box gondola. The ends are from another gondola. I think they're from an IHC gondola or a Tyco gondola, one of those cheap gondolas. And then the six-wheel trucks are from the Walther's Hot Metal car. So these are six-wheel Buckeye trucks. And then you have your undershank couplers here. And as you guys can see, the car is fully articulated. And the whole purpose of these Titan cars was to handle like ultra heavy loads that normal cars like box cars and tank cars couldn't handle. And I just had a crazy obsession with the idea of making 16 wheel cars, tank cars, or flat cars. And this is what sprouted into 6 cars here. So this is the first car. And then after that came the 2 Titan flat cars. Now, actually I decaled them, and these two are made from 2 Atherin Blue Box 16 wheel flats that are glued together. This one is a little bit different than this one. But this one's designed to carry like a full locomotive. Like my QJ, like the tender and all, can fit on this one car. Like these cars are some of these cars are over a foot in length. This is over a foot in length. No, this is over a foot. This is over a foot. This is about a foot in length. But yeah, I just had this crazy obsession to just build super long cars that no one else had. And they came out really good. I'm impressed. I did these 2 on Sunday. Oh, I'm sorry. This one, and this one on Sunday. And I got this one finished tonight. This actually did have a dome at one time, but I took the dome off and made it a liquid nitrogen car. So, and this is my new logo, the speed lettering type logo, which is cool. Let me show you how these are built. So, as you guys can see, this is how I built the cars. And actually, when Athearn started making the Depression flat cars, there was a company that made them before. It's called Crown, and they were based in Hong Kong. So I don't know if people know that, but that's where they got the molds from to make the Depression flat car. At least that's what I think. I know there were some kits that were made out of metal, so this might have been another kit from another company that had the same molds. I don't know, but yeah, interesting story. And I just put the Keystone logos on there and the number 4. And these were 2 cars that actually were damaged, and they both had the same pipe loads, and I said, why not? So here's the other heavy duty flat, and it's pretty much built like the first one, except I filled in the center section here with styrene. And these are actually guide arrows. So these arrows actually indicate where the center of the car is. Yeah. But these cars are super, super long. Yeah. And then I made the box car, which is this one here. And I based this off of the Peace missile carrier box car that was made by the Defense Department. It actually, the chassis is a Walthers 89-foot flat, or 89-foot trailer train flat that was cut down, and then the whole rest of the car is scratch built out of styrene, except for the doors. Those are from an A-line car. Those are like extra doors that I had, and then I just decaled it. Now you're looking at this and you're saying, like, his modeling was pretty okay back then. Well, you know, these are some of the these were made years and years and years ago. So my modeling today is not like it used to be. It's way better. I mean, considering this one here was my first car, that was a pretty good job. I mean, I had people clamoring, "Hey, how do you build this car?" I will be making a video on how I make this car, guys. So stay tuned for that. But yeah. It was really fun. I wanted to paint this car French blue, but I ended up painting it Tuscan red because I don't have any more French blue. Go figure. I painted 3 diesels in French blue, and I used it all up. Here's the next tank car. This is the liquid nitrogen car, and I pretty much threw this to. I didn't really throw it together, but trying to get it finished, I just removed some things. It did have a dome on it. I took the dome off. And this car was actually the more tricky one to do because it would never stay on the track. And that was because inside the tank, there are no weights inside the car. And I had to do that on purpose because it's actually 3 different cars that were used to make this tank. I had 3 damaged Walthers tank cars, and luckily they were all the same size. I had to use all 3 to make this one tank work. So that's why there's no weights inside. So in order to put weights, I had to make a center spine, and those are the weights right there. And they're actually perfectly centered on the body of the car so that the weight is completely balanced. And the car actually is not all that heavy, but because of the way the weights are, it actually distributes the weight equally and keeps the car on the track. Now this tank car here, which is actually the first one, came before this one. This is actually pretty much the older one. This actually was made out of 3 tank cars as well. You can see right here vaguely where the other end of the tank was made here. But as far as the design, this is actually the better one. The paint that I used was float quill paint, and I've tried to strip the paint off this car, and there's no way it's coming off. Like, I don't know what kind of, it's just not coming off. This car is technically not finished. I still have to put all the railings and stuff on it, but this car is extremely heavy. There's a massive weight in this car, and it was a tedious process to get this car to run right because the end platforms were damaged. I had to salvage those as best I could. I had to make new bolsters for, I think, one end of the car, and the walkways are mix match of just spare walkways from the other damaged tank cars that I used to make this one in order to finish the walkway to make that one. But yeah, it runs. They all run perfectly. I'm pretty much satisfied with them, but these are all my Titan cars, guys. All of them. All 6 of them. I only made 6. I will make the 7th one, which is another one of these, to show you guys how to make one, and that'll probably be it. Now, moving on, this is my first Bachmann QJ, I should say, 210-2, and it's the steam turbine version. You guys have seen videos of this. I actually repaired this locomotive. I put a new front pilot on it, which is brass. I fixed the bent smoke deflector on this side. I fixed the railings all over the locomotive. Like, stanchions were broken, certain pieces were broken, and the drawbar was completely snapped. I fixed that. These were bent. You know, I put new Katie body-mounted couplers on it, greased and oiled it, and it runs like a champ now. It's actually very valuable. These particular go for like $500 or more. I kind of paid a little bit over $300 for it, considering it was damaged, but that's still cheaper than one that's brand new. And I've always wanted the museum kind, and it's factory weathered, which is cool. So I'm pretty happy about that. As you guys can see, she runs. She's really quiet too. I will be getting a DCC decoder for her soon, though. Probably a Chinese one because they have the correct sounds, but I do believe ESU does have a sound file for the Bachmann, or for the Chinese QJs. Moving on, let's go to the covered wagon, shall we? This here is another engine that wasn't on my roster. This is a Stewart FT103, but it's now called an FTR. So it basically has a prime mover from an SW1500 and a control stand from a Jeep 9. And yeah, it's been fully detailed by me. Put the MU cables on it. All the railings on it are hand bent by me. I put air hoses on it. I super detailed it. Yeah, this started out as a Santa Fe unit, the number 103, but I actually numbered it to 49, and I like it. It's a very good unit. I still need to put the I forget what they called on the roof that they use to lift off the roof panels. I still need to put those on this unit, but other than that, I'm happy with that. I'm happy with this unit. I want to get another Stewart unit just so I can have a pair of A units. It's really hard to find these separate from the B unit. This was a bid that I won. Of course, someone at the end got a little salty and they drove up the price of the bid, which is, you know, they were salty. Anyway, I still won it, but it's okay. It is what it is. But yeah, great unit. Very fun to put that together. I plan to get another one. This here is a Athearn Blue Box F7A. This is another locomotive, like the 49, that was not actually officially on my roster, but I decided that this was a fun weekend project. I had a super detailed kit from Walthers, so I put it on this engine. And then I got a crazy idea, because this was a dummy engine. I said, why not put power to it? Why not make it powered? So I had the chassis of an Atlas RS3 lying around, and I said, why not take those parts and put it on the, make an unusual F unit. Well, here you go. And it turns out the Alaska Railroad actually did use Alco trucks on some of their F units when they had them. There are some pictures out there. This engine is super detailed, like I said. I like the headlight arrangement on this guy. Like, I really do. But yeah, it's got an Atlas drive and everything. And I'll probably do a separate video showing how I did it. It's really easy to actually just, do it. Um, but it's super quiet, and I like it. It's a great, great locomotive. Because of the Alco trucks, you can actually see it sits way taller than the standard FT, which, technically speaking, they should be about the same height. But because of the Alco trucks, it's a little taller. Yeah. Then moving on to this engine, this is the W440 Cat, which is the I got it on a couple of this passenger car, which is my custom built Caterpillar engine. So you guys saw this engine when it was pretty much a Frankenstein locomotive. So the nose and cab are the nose, base, and cab are from Atlas. This section is from an Atlas SD24. This flared radiator section is from an Athearn Blue Box SD45. It's the dynamic brake housing. The rear fans here are from an Athearn Blue Box Jeep 9. These are two Atlas fans. These are details. These are Canon Company SD40-2 radiator grills, and then the rest of the unit is completely kit bashed on an Alco RS3 chassis, and it's a clobbered together unit, but it looks phenomenal. And it's got the speed lettering. It's actually the first engine to get the speed lettering. I like that rear because of the headlights and the Mars lights. I actually did have a cab on there that had the 4 Mars lights at the front, but unfortunately I had to remove that cab because it just wasn't working out. So I had to change that up. Let's go on to the BQ23-7. Let me see if I can get that. So this is a kit bashed unit also. My buddy Radisson gave me this shell many, many years ago, and I super detailed it like crazy. So I had to build these horns. This is a Leslie RS5T, although the bells are not facing the right way, but it is a true Leslie RS5T. I had the front mounted brake wheel here. It's got air hoses and MU cables. I painted it. The fuel tank is custom kit bashed by me. It's riding on an Atlas SD35 chassis, riding on Atlas Jeep 38 Bloomberg trucks. So that actually is the correct frame for the Bachmann BQ23-7 chassis. You do have to make the front pilot, close up the front pilot out of styrene in order to keep the chassis mounted. But yep, it's completely functional. It's DCC equipped, which is cool. So that engine is finally done. Oh, I also put new windows in here, so all the window glazing has been switched out. So that's brand new, because the other windows in there were crappy. Just like with these other engines, like window glazing, all that by me. And then let's go to my B&O F7 here. You guys have seen this engine before. The new addition to it is it's got HEP now. So I showed a brief video on how I did this whole HEP setup. These are copper pipes that I cut down and drilled out the holes for them. So this engine is HEP equipped. And then this engine, you guys know about it, but I really haven't talked much about it. It's the Jeep 26-1. Now this is another unusual engine. It's a combination of a Jeep 38 and an SD26. So the chassis is a Jeep 38 chassis with Jeep 38 trucks. The long hood here is from an SD26. The cab is from an SD26, and the nose is from a Jeep 38. So this engine is definitely a kit bash. I didn't build it, but the original owner that sold it on eBay built it. It's an Operation Lifesaver unit. When I got this unit, it was in very bad shape. There was things that were missing on it, things that were falling apart. The front pilot was so bad that I literally had to sand the original pilot down. And if you look, I had to graph another Atlas pilot onto the front from a BNSF Jeep 38-2. So there's actually a pilot on top of a pilot, but I had to sand and file it super thin in order to get the right dimensions and graft it onto the front, because the original front was just so badly damaged. And then I took the liberty of getting new horns, and then there's a new, oh, I can't really, you guys can't really see that because my hand is in the way. Let me switch this stuff around. New bell, new horns. That's just a little detail that I added. New front plow, MU cables, air hoses, front and rear. New window glazing, because the window glazing, apparently whoever did this engine, they left the window glazing in when they put the clear coat on it, and it fogged up the windows. So I had to remove all the windows and redo them with clear styrene. So all the windows that I put on here, on like this engine, and these two are used. No, that's the original kit, but the sides are styrene. These are clear sheets of styrene that you can get, and you just cut them with a pair of scissors, and you can just make your own windows, which I think is a lot easier. But yeah, this engine was one heck of a project to do. I'm not really concerned that there's no matching with the greens, because technically when damaged units are rebuilt, they paint whatever they put on there a different color. So not really too worried about that. And then finally, this is not a project, but it's definitely a new train. This is my new Phase 3 Rapido Sleeper. I always wanted one of these. I got this off of eBay. I think I paid $100 for it. It's got lights in it, but it's not. It's got the original. This is from like the first run of Rapido sleepers of this kind, and as you can see, the name. I like this car. I really do. Haven't had a chance to run it yet, but I will. But yeah, I'm thoroughly pleased with that car. Just to show you guys that. Other things that have been in the works, I'm still working on this unit. This is the other SD14R. Really, there's nothing that needs to be done with this unit. I did put new railings on it. You guys saw that in a previous video, I think. But I leave it out because it's one of my favorite engines. You guys remember this. The Thrall 40 Gondola, which is basically a coal car with an F40 cab, which was made for push-pull coal train service. Yes, I still have it, and I'm planning on resurrecting it somehow. I don't know exactly what it'll be used for. It might be used as a shoving platform. I don't know yet, but I will be using it for something. So, just stay tuned on that. And then I'm going to give you guys 2 sneak peeks at something. So, you already saw this Caterpillar engine. Now, I'm working on a second one because there's a pair. This is the 2804. This engine I just got in the mail today. This is going to be the 2805. So this is a Kato Jeep 35. And as you can see by the nose, it's got a SP light package with the emergency light plated over. So the nose is an Athearn RTR nose, and the rest of it is Kato. So this is what I've been working on tonight. I already put the grab irons and stuff on it. I did the split exhaust like on the Jeep 35 Cats. I might change that because I don't like the way it looks, but if it's painted it shouldn't matter anyway because that's going to clear that up. I also drilled out all the holes for the front plow, the air hoses, the MU cables. So I have all the parts to finish this unit off. So that will be the sister engine to this engine here, and they completely look different. Yeah, that's because I didn't follow the drawings. Well, this one I followed the drawings on. This one I did. This one I did because to redo this one would be so complicated. I'm not even going to worry about it. So building one of these was enough for me. This complex, not doing it again. I forgot to mention all the handrails are hand bent by me except for the front and rear ones. But this one here, I thought it'd be cool to just do it, just a G35 quarter as the starting point, and then just rebuild it into a cat diesel and number it 2805, which is good. And then finally, another project I'm still working on is the 484 Niagara. So this is a Bachmann Spectrum. DCC, it's got DCC in it. Got this from the Stroudsburg Train Shop. I paid $80 for this, guys. These usually go for, what, 120, 150? But yeah, I paid 80 bucks for it. It's barely been ran, and I've been doing modifications to it. So I got a KD coupler on the front. The front cow catcher was junk, so I got rid of it, and I'm going to just rebuild the front pilot. Unfortunately, she's missing a smoke deflector. So she is missing one of the smoke deflectors, which kind of sucks. But she's a great runner. I already ran her. She runs great. So I don't want to pay $35 for another shell, because I think Bachmann still has some shells in stock. But if I have to, I will. Someone on Facebook said that they had a pair of smoke. I don't know why I keep saying snow deflectors. Someone on Facebook said to me that they had a pair of smoke deflectors that were made out of metal. They were supposed to take a picture of them for me and send them, because I like to look at stuff before I buy them, but they haven't sent me anything yet. So I don't know what's going on. I guess they got busy with work or whatever and forgot, but I'm not going to wait too much longer, because I want to get this engine done and running and repaired. So if they don't come through, I'll just eat the 40 bucks for the shell and just take the other smoke deflector off of that shell and put it on this shell here. So a lot of stuff I've been doing on my own. Those of you who have continued to follow me through the years, thank you for your support. I thank God for everything that, He's done for me. I thank God that I have great fans like you guys. I thank God that I am able to continue to make these videos. And I thank God that I have evolved and advanced in my skills as not just as a modeler and not just as a person, but also a videographer for YouTube as well. You can actually look at all these models and see exactly how far I've come since I've been building model trains. Yeah, it's pretty amazing. It's a story. Like, my whole YouTube channel is like a story. Like, from the point of me starting up until now, I've come so far. Like, and these were all done in like the last couple of months. Like you saw the other videos, the SDL 38s and all those other projects that were sitting around languishing. I've been banging these out like crazy. Like, that's all my paint right there. I've went through so many paint cans, it's not even funny. Like, I think I spent almost $150 to $200, maybe even more, on just paint cans and clear coat and semi-gloss clear coats or whatever, just to get these trains done, because I'm tired of seeing them not finished. So yeah, I'm rambling a lot, but all these projects are pretty much done. I just got to get sound and DCC installed in them. These cars, the ones that are done. I just got to get that tank car finished. You guys are probably asking me, are you going to put like data sheets on them? I'll probably put data sheets on them eventually, but I'm not really I don't really want to spend hours putting on these little teeny decals. I did that with one car, guys. That was that EJ&E ballast hopper that I showed you guys way back when. I'm not doing that anytime soon with the data sheets. It takes too long. It looks nice, but it takes way too long. So I don't really want to do that right now. And I like kind of the way they look right now anyway, so. But if I do decide to do it, it'll be something down the road. But for the most part, these cars are done. And these engines are done. So if you guys have any more questions, feel free to send me a message on Facebook or YouTube or Instagram, because the same name is used for all three of those. So if you just go on Instagram, type in EMDST14R, I'm there. So you guys be cool. It is officially the 28th, so I'm going to go to bed. God bless, and I'll see you later. Peace, y'all.